Thank you, Governor Cuomo. Biden voted for the Iraq War. I was against the Iraq War. He opposed the mission to take out Osama bin Laden. He opposed the killing of Soleimani. You remember that one? He oversaw the rise of ISIS, and he cheered the rise of China as a positive development for America and for the world. That's not a positive development. You know, before they went into the WTO, China was flatlined. For years and years and decades, flatlined. And then they got into the WTO, and a lot of bad things happened. First, China stole our jobs, plundered our intellectual property, and unleashed the virus. And now China is trying to just hug and kiss Joe Biden. They want him so badly. Look, if you like China, you should vote for Biden, that I can tell you. How about his son? Do you think the son, maybe there's a conflict? How about his son? Where's Hunter? Where is Hunter? Where is Hunter? Does anybody know? Where's Hunter? He's in another country right now, probably ripping off another country. Now, as soon as Biden became vice president, bad things happened with respect to Hunter. If that happened with respect to my family, I wouldn't be standing. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Ukraine, and it's not just Ukraine, and it's not just China. But he goes into China, takes out $1.5 billion to manage, and he knows nothing, and he wasn't even employed. He got thrown out of the armed services. So give me a break. It's a disgrace what's happening. There's a thing happening with the media like nobody's ever seen before. These people right here. Because if that happened to a Republican in particular, if any of that stuff happened to me, it would be brutal. But it happened to him. They don't want to talk about it. And how about the questions asked by Anderson Cooper yesterday? Anderson Cooper, he's interviewed me a lot over the years, and I always got along with him, but they were tough interviews. Did you hear the questions? And Biden kept looking down. I think he was reading the answers off a teleprompter, right? I think he was reading the answers off a teleprompter, and that's happened before. And how about David Muir of ABC? He's a nice guy, right? How soft were those questions? How soft were those? They don't ask me questions like that. They got fire pouring out of their eyes. No, Mr. Vice President, what do you think of this? How was your breakfast, sir? Did you enjoy it? When I banned travel from China, Biden called it hysterical and xenophobic. He even used somewhere along the line the word racist. He always figures they always want to get that word in there. If we had listened to Joe, hundreds of thousands of more Americans would have died. But instead, my decision saved thousands and thousands of lives. And then we banned Europe very early because I saw what was going on really in Italy and Spain and France. When the virus arrived, we launched the largest national mobilization since World War II. Mike Pence did a great job. We produced more than 100,000 ventilators within weeks. And not a single American who has needed a ventilator has been denied a ventilator, not one. You heard all about, and now we're producing ventilators, hard to produce, expensive, complex. We're producing them now for the rest of the world. 188 countries were affected by this. We pioneered advances in treatment that have reduced the monthly rate. And you look at this, the mortality rate has been reduced by 85% since April. Think of that. 85% since April. Under Operation Warp Speed, 3 different vaccines are right now in final stage trials. If you go back 3 years, that would have been something that would have been impossible to even discuss. It would have taken years. We will produce a vaccine this year, and together we will defeat the virus. It's already getting defeated. And by the way, another big Democrat hoax, another big hoax. I want football back. I'm the one that's been saying, is that a correct statement? I want football back. These are young, strong guys. They're not going to be affected by the virus. If you look at it, it's generally older people that have heart conditions, that have diabetes, that have problems. These are big, strong guys. They'll be just fine. But I want football back. I've been calling for football to be back, including Big Ten. Big Ten, get with it. Open up your season, Big Ten. And the Dems don't want it back for political reasons. But now their new line, this is like Russia, 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 you know, all this crap they come up with. Now their new line is they are trying to blame me and keep football shut down. They want to keep it shut down, and they're saying that President Trump shut it down. I'm the one that wants it open. So they're reversing it. They're playing a big con game. It's just a con game. And that's what we're dealing with. And we have to defeat them on November 3rd. I want football back and Big Ten open. And now, the other day, Joe Biden came up with a plan to impose a blanket shutdown. He'd be willing to do another blanket, and we had to do it. We blanket, we shut down, we saved millions of lives. Instead of the number we have today, 175,000, we could have had 2 million today instead. It would have been unacceptable, unsustainable. We did everything right. We did it right. We closed it down. We stopped China. We stopped Europe. Now we're opening it up, and we're opening it up to record numbers, despite the fact that the Democrats are keeping their states shut down and hurting people that live in those states shut down as long as possible. But now Biden wants to do another blanket shutdown, possibly, that would decimate the economy and cause suicides, drug overdoses, alcohol abuse, heart attacks, joblessness. You'd have jobs, all of the problems that it causes, because it's not just a one-sided equation. A shutdown causes big problems also. And at this point, when the economy is roaring back, we had record job numbers this last quarter, over 9 million jobs. We're going to throw that all out? We have a market, you know, your stock market. Who has 401ks here? Your 401ks and your stocks, when you have stocks, would be obliterated. And right now, we have just, on two of your markets, as you know, S&P and NASDAQ, you're at new records, and you're about to hit another new record. Think of it. Who would have thought the stock market? And hopefully we're at the end of this horrible China virus. Came from China. They should have stopped it, and they did. But who would have thought, just who would have thought, that the stock market is at record levels right now? Record levels. And everything else is going to follow. Before the virus, we created an economic miracle, and now we're doing it again. We did the Paycheck Protection Program, where we saved more than 200,000 jobs in New Hampshire alone. 200,000, right? Over the past 3 months, we've gained so many different, if you look at retail numbers, take a look at our retail numbers. They're literally at records. Look at some of the numbers being announced by companies. They're at records. Can you imagine giving that all up and starting again? It's not acceptable. If I'm reelected, we will create 10 million jobs over the next 10 months, and we'll do that easily. The Biden agenda, with big tax increases and big regulation increases, would immediately kill everything. You will go into a depression, and I'm very good at predicting this. You will go into a depression, the likes of which this country has not seen since 1929, and who knows, maybe worse than that. they are playing a suicide mission if they want to raise your taxes. They want to raise your taxes by $4 trillion. And that's going to be almost everybody's. They're saying for the rich? No, not for the rich. They're going to be raising everybody's taxes almost. Joe Biden is running on the most extreme far-left platform of any nominee in American history. And if our foreign adversaries were devising a plan to destroy the United States from within, all they have to look is at the Biden-Harris. How about her? Is she a beauty? What a beauty that is. They pick a woman who starts off sort of strong. She's one of the favorites. Within a period of a few months, she goes down, down, 15, 12, 11, 9, 8, 5, 3, 2. Then she goes, I'm going to leave because I've decided that I want to leave. I want to leave. She left because she wouldn't have gotten any votes. She was terrible. And this would be your president, possibly? I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, I want to see the first woman president also, but I don't want to see a woman president get into that position the way she do it, and she's not competent. She's not competent. They're all saying, we want Ivanka. I don't blame you. They want to eliminate America's borders in the middle of a pandemic, suspend all deportations, restore catch and release, and expand horrible, dangerous, disgusting sanctuary cities. They want to give illegal aliens government health care and taxpayer-funded lawyers. That's what we need is more lawyers. Let's get some more lawyers into the act. They want to end national security travel bans from jihadist nations, very dangerous, and increase refugee admissions by 700%. This is in the Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie. You know Crazy Bernie. And a lot of his people are going to vote for me just like they did last time. You know why? Because of trade. Because I agree with Bernie Sanders, but my trade policies are much tougher than his, and I'm able to do it. All you have to do is, how was China doing last year with my trade policy? Not too well, and we had the best year we've ever had. So we're going to get a lot of Bernie Sanders voters because they like my attitude on trade. They really like it, because I've been telling people for years our country is being ripped off by China and many other countries, including, I hate to say it, our allies. Our allies have been ripping us big. And you heard me say last night, NATO. I got $130 billion from them. First time going up to $400 billion a year from NATO countries by saying, you got to do it. You got to do it. And General Secretary Stoltenberg said it can't be done. He could not believe it. He's actually my biggest fan, and nobody ever calls him for a quote. Call him sometime. They want to abolish cash bail and cut funding for law enforcement. They want to end. We want to increase law enforcement, not cut law enforcement. And by the way, Pat Lynch, a great guy, New York, really great, New York's finest, right? They've been, their rights have been taken away from them, literally. They're not allowed to do their job, but Pat Lynch, he said, the first time in history that they know of, New York's finest have endorsed a candidate. The candidate is Donald Trump. First time they've done it. And all over the country, the sheriffs of Florida, all of Texas, all over the country, Ohio, law enforcement's endorsing Trump. I cannot imagine them getting any law enforcement endorsements. If they do, please let me know and we'll have a little discussion. We'll ask, why did that happen?
Croc TV.